glad to have you with us on Asset Television News. I am Eugenia Solomon. First, the headlines. Nigerians in diaspora call for immediate recall of Senator Natasha from suspension. Aviation unions issue ultimatum to government over customs attack. Ukraine moves towards ceasefire with Russia after Trump's intervention. The detail. The Martin Amawele-led Rivers State House of Assembly on Sunday asked Governor Siminalayi FUBARA to channel his invitation to the members properly and not through social media. Well, the reaction followed the invitation to the Assembly to a meeting with the governor at the Government House this Monday. Well, FUBARA, through the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tami Denagogo, said the meeting, scheduled for 10 a.m., was expected to address key issues, including the provision of sitting space for the Assembly, payment of outstanding allowances, and the presentation of the 2025 budget. The 27 lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Assembly, loyal to former Governor Nyesom Wike, were said to have initially rejected but chose to consult on way forward. One of the lawmakers, as Isaiah Opwende, who represents Akuku Toru constituency 2, blasted the governor for inviting the assembly members via social media. Well, the crisis currently racking the Nigerian Senate is far from being over, as more women groups, including Nigerians in the diaspora, have joined to urge the Senator Akpabio-led Red Chambers to recall Natasha with immediate effect. The statement by one of the leaders in the diaspora and APC stalwarts, Francis Onabis, condemned in strong terms the manner in which the leadership of the Senate handled the issue between Senator Akpoti and the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. According to Onabis, the suspension of Natasha is troubleshooting and raised so much doubt about the sincerity of the upper legislative chamber. He further noted that while the official justification was framed around procedural misconduct, the real issue that prompted the suspension of the nun was none other than the sexual allegation against Akpabio. Aviation workers have issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to remove the area controller of the Nigerian Customs Service at the Pilgrims and Cargo Terminal of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, over an assault on the Director of Security at the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Igbafe Afegbai. The workers also called on President Bola Tinubu to redeploy all customs officers involved in assaulting the FAN director. The ultimatum, which started counting from March 7, 2025, will elapse on March 21st. The unions threatened rage against what they tagged as excesses and misbehaviors of the officers of the Nigeria Customs Service. The unions include the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, the National Union of Air Transport Employees, and the Association of Nigeria Aviation Professionals. The Osun State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC has dismissed allegations of a $20 million fraud leveled against former Governor Adegboyega Oyetola by his successor, Governor Ademola Adeleke. Adeleke, in a petition submitted to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) last week, accused Oyetola of money laundering and violations of the Public Procurement Act. But addressing journalists in Abuja on Sunday, Osun APC Media Director Kola Olabisi described Adeleke's petition as a politically motivated attempt to tarnish Oyetola's reputation. Olabisi accused Adeleke of using the fraud claim as a tool to settle political scores after failing to control the state's local government councils. He challenged the Adeleke administration to publish the names of contractors and contract awards dates to substantiate its claims. But in response, the Osun state government maintained that it would not be intimidated or blackmailed into silence, urging those implicated in the petition to prepare to defend themselves. The Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolakbo Alimi, insisted that the petition submitted to the Economic Financial Crimes Commission was based on a thorough investigation and was not politically motivated. The Alaafin of Oyo Oba Kim Awowade has addressed concerns surrounding the reported curfew imposed during the 21-day traditional Oro Ekpebi rites in Oyo town. He clarified that the use of certain terms in an earlier statement, such as curfew, arrest, and detention, were not meant to demean any religious group or infringe upon individual freedoms. In a statement issued by his chief of staff, Rotimi Oshuntola, in Ibadan, the Oyo state capital, the monarch directed that the issue of a curfew be disregarded, emphasizing that the intent was to ensure public safety and awareness during the ongoing traditional rites. The palace acknowledged that the choice of words in the earlier announcement had been misunderstood. It explained that such terms were traditionally used whenever oral rites are performed in the Oyo Kingdom and should not be interpreted in a coercive or a restrictive manner. Asset Television News will continue shortly after the breather. Well, you're welcome back from that break. Assets Television News continues. The Archbishop Ignatius Kaigama of Abuja Catholic Diocese has called on Nigerians to commit to justice, integrity, and love to birth a new Nigeria. Kaigama made this known while delivering a sermon at the opening mass of the 2025 first plenary of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, CBCN, in Abuja on Sunday. The conference has as its theme Jubilee of Hope, a light for a new Nigeria. According to Kaigama, God can spare and progress Nigeria if the citizens embark on individual and collective renewal, choosing righteousness over corruption, love over hatred, and peace over division, while urging political, judicial, military, and religious leaders, past and present, to take responsibility for past wrongs, return ill-gotten wealth, and work towards a better Nigeria. The cleric also urged Nigerians to be agents of positive change, emphasizing that transformation often begins with individuals, families, workplaces, and institutions. The Lagos State Butchers Association has lamented the soaring cost of cows threatening the livelihood of its members and called for the federal government's intervention to save the sector from an imminent collapse. Well, the association's chairman Taiwo Razak disclosed this in an interview with newsmen in Lagos. Razak said the persistent surge in cow prices has pushed Lagos butchers to the brink, with many struggling to maintain profit margins and stay in business. He said the development had led to reduced profit margins, with many butchers battling to survive, while some could shut down their businesses if the situation persists. The United States Department of State has attributed recent challenges Nigerians face applying for U.S. visas to a partial system outage. Press Officer, Office of Public and Congressional Affairs, Bureau of Consular Affairs, U.S. Department of State Jennifer Johnson made this known in response to an inquiry made by the media. The media had been inundated with reports of glitches faced by Nigerian visa applicants who particularly lamented that the U.S. Embassy failed to interview those scheduled for appointments as part of the visa application process. Responding to the situation, the State Department spokesperson on Saturday acknowledged the issues but assured that normalcy had been restored to consular operations. Johnson further assured that those affected visa applicants will have their interviews rescheduled. It would be recalled that the U.S. mission in Nigeria had last launched a transition to a new visa appointment system. The goal, according to the U.S. mission in Nigeria, was to make the process of obtaining visa appointments at its embassy in Abuja and its consulate in Lagos easier for applicants and more transparent for the U.S. visa applicants in Nigeria. Well, on the foreign scene, the Trump administration believes Ukraine's leadership is ready to move forward on the U.S. demand for a ceasefire process with Russia, according to a senior U.S. State Department official. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz are due to arrive in Saudi Arabia for Tuesday's talks with their Ukrainian counterparts. President Donald Trump has stepped up pressure on his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky, to accept his demands for a quick ceasefire with Moscow, but without any immediate pledge of a U.S. security guarantee. 10 days ago, the two publicly clashed at the White House, with Trump claiming Zelensky was not ready to end the fighting. And with that, we wrap up the news. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and programs. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Eugenia Solomon. Thank you for watching.